Progress.
Salam.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Pak Bambang Suciatmo, Pak Isan, Pak Rahman Setiawan, Pak Sandro, Pak Satrio, Pak Ferry, Pak Arif, kita untuk mulai acaranya. First, let me introduce myself. My name is Anissa Yusuf, one of statics lecturers in class 7, and today I'll be responsible for hosting the lecture. Okay, I welcome you all to the inaugural lecture of Statics Semester 2, 2021-2022. In this lecture, we will have three sections of presentation. Pak Ferianto will give the first section, and he will give us the introduction to all the lecturers, the explanation about the rules of our lecture, and also the explanation about collaborative learning. After that, in the second session, Pak Sandro will talk about the course syllabus and give you an insight into what we will learn in statics. And the last section, the third section, will be Q&A session. So for all students, please pay attention to all the materials given by Pak Ferry and Pak Sandro, and ask everything you want to ask via chat or directly in Q&A session later. For now, please welcome Pak Ferry. The time is yours.
Okay, thank you, Bu Anissa. So, yeah, good morning to all the lecturers at here and to all the students in this Zoom session. How are you, students? Ini kalau diam-diam saya panggil nih.
I'm good, sir.
Okay, Bilal. Good for your first week of the lecture? Hello, Bilal.
Yeah, it's pretty busy, but it's okay.
Oh, okay, but I think in 3 or 4 weeks, you will get busier because you will start your practicum, right? I think you have the basic physics practicum.
Yes, but it start next week for the introduction, and maybe the next week again, it will begin the real practicum.
Okay. Okay, so yes, I will present about the introduction of the statics, our class MS 1210. So I want to start the share screen. Can you see my share screen right now?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay. Oops. I don't know what happened. Okay, so yeah, good afternoon, everybody. Now I want to present about the introduction of the statics. I'm sorry, I will use English and also Indonesian, Bahasa Indonesian, since that there are regular and international class as well in this Zoom meeting. Okay, jadi di sini saya akan menggunakan dua bahasa, bahasa Indonesia dan bahasa Inggris, karena di sini ada kelas internasional dan kelas regular. Okay, so maybe you have known that the statics we have in total 7 classes. Okay, we have class number 1 by Pak Andi Israhmayudin and Pak Arif Sugiharto, and then class number 2 will be with Pak Sandro Mihradi, and class number 3 will be by Pak Tata Cipta Dirgantara and also Pak Andi Kuswoyo, and class number 4 will be on me and also Pak Bambang Suciatmo. Class number 5, Pak Rahman Setiawan. Class number 6, Pak Satrio Wicaksono, and also class number 7 is by Pak Isan Setiaputra and Bu Anissa Yusuf. I think most of the lecturers also join our meeting at here, but I will introduce one by one. Okay, first is Pak Bambang Suciatmo. I think Pak Bambang is also at here. So Pak Bambang Suciatmo is actually our lecturers. Jadi Pak Bambang Suciatmo itu adalah dosen kita semua, bahkan yang mengajar kuliah mekanika teknik dasar ke Pak Andi, Pak Ihsan, Pak Rahman juga ya, itu adalah Pak Bambang Suciatmo. So the most senior one and is our lecturers is Pak Bambang Suciatmo. You can see Pak Bambang graduate from undergraduate in 1972. I think you are not in, of course, still not born yet. Also, still not in the planning. Yeah. So, and you can see Pak Bambang Suciatmo is already become the professor in 1998, and yes, Pak Bambang Suciatmo have so many experiences, not only in the course but also in outside ITB. One of them you can see become the rector of Universitas Terbuka, and also the rector of Unjani. Okay, and then there is Pak Andi Israhmahyudin. So you can see Pak Andi Israhmahyudin is the professor in the multibody dynamics, and now it is in Pak Andi is in the mechanical design research group. Unfortunately, Pak Andi cannot come now because there is another meeting. Okay, so you can Pak Andi Israhmahyudin research is you can see is mostly in the biomechanics, the prosthetic knee, and also this one is the telespatial frame to help the fracture, and also the vehicle dynamics. And you can see at here, Pak Andi Israhmahyudin graduated from ITB in 1984, and then continue to PhD in the Purdue University, USA. And Pak Andi Israhmahyudin became the Dean of the Faculty of Mechanical and Aerospace Engineering from 2008 and 2010. So before Pak Bambang is the rector and Pak Andi Israhmahyudin is the Dean. You will see another Dean also later. Next, Pak Ihsan. I think Pak Ihsan is at here. So Pak Ihsan is the professor in the fracture mechanics. And now Pak Ihsan is in the lightweight structure research group. And Pak Ihsan graduated from ITB in 1983 and continued to the Delft University of the Technology. You can see the experience of the Pak Ihsan become the vice rector for the academic and the student affairs, and then the head of the quality assurance unit of ITB, and the director of the education ITB, the head of the department of aeronautical engineering ITB, head of the lightweight structure laboratory, and so on. Okay, so you can see this one is here the picture is the expertise of Pak Ihsan Setiaputra, mostly in the fracture mechanics. And next is Pak Tata Cipta Digantara. So Pak Tata Cipta Digantara is a professor in the computational mechanics. Same research group with Pak Ihsan Setiaputra in the lightweight structure research group. And Pak Tata graduated from ITB in 1993. And then Pak Tata got his PhD from Queen Mary University in UK in 2000. And yeah, Pak Tata is now the Dean of the Faculty of Mechanical and Aerospace Engineering from 2020 until now. And here you can see the expertise of the Pak Tata. It is impact and also in the vehicle and also in the biomechanics you can see it here. Next is Pak Rahman. I think Pak Rahman is at here. Maybe I should give the spotlight. Yeah, Pak Rahman is the associate professor in the mechanical design research group, same with the research group with Pak Andi Israhmahyudin, and graduate in 1996 and got the PhD in 2004. Pak Rahman has a lot of experience in the world of energy and the mineral. Become the vice director of the academic affairs in 2018 until 2020, and now Pak Rahman is the head of the graduate study program of Faculty of Mechanical and Aerospace Engineering. So you can see in the lecturers of this class, we have the dean, we have the rector, we have the head of the graduate study program, and later you will see more. And the expertise of Pak Rahman is mostly in, you can see in the vehicle as well, and in the angkat alat berat ya Pak Rahman ya.
Yeah, heavy equipment.
In the heavy equipment, and yeah, the hobby of Pak Rahman is cycling. You can see from the figure. Next is Pak Sandro. So just now we have the head of the graduate program. Pak Sandro is the head of the mechanical engineering study program. Okay, so Pak Sandro is also in the mechanical design research group and graduate from ITB in 2001 and got the PhD in 2006 from Japan, Toyohashi University of Technology. So just now you can see we have the rector, we have the dean, and we have the head of the graduate program. Now we have the head of the mechanical engineering study program. Jadi dosen pengajar statika semuanya dipenuhi dengan pejabat ya. Okay. And the expertise of Pak Sandro, maybe I should give the spotlight to Pak Sandro. Now become the spotlight. The expertise of Pak Sandro is mostly in the biomechanics, and also here it is in the impact biomechanics, and also Pak Sandro has a lot of experiences in developing the prosthetic and assistive devices to help the amputee. And then next is Bu Anissa Yusuf. You have known Bu Anissa. I will give the spotlight. You can say hello, Bu Anissa.
Halo semua.
So Bu Anissa is in the Lightweight Structure Research Group, graduated from ITB in 2005. Got the PhD in 2013, and you can see the expertise of Bu Anissa is also in the impact and also impact kah, Bu Anissa ya?
Yeah, Pak Ferry.
Yes, so in the impact and fracture mechanics as well. And then next is Pak Satrio Wicaksono. I will give the spotlight for Pak Satrio. So Pak Satrio is in the mechanical design research group. Maybe you can say hello, Pak Satrio. Graduate from ITB in 2007 and got the PhD from Nanyang Technological University in 2014. Okay, and the expertise of Pak Satrio is mostly in the computational mechanics. You can look at here, apply to the dental and then to the crashworthiness and also in the composite. And the others is me. Also in the same research group with Pak Satrio Wicaksono. And then I got my graduate from ITB in 2011, and then now I'm a student and in the finishing chapter of the PhD. I hope we'll graduate soon from Tokyo Institute of Technology. So you can see my expertise is mostly in the biomechanics. In the sport biomechanics, you can see it is the swimming and also weightlifting. And also this one, as you can see in the Pak Andis research, also in the prosthetic as well. And next is Pak Aris Sugiharto. Sam also come from the mechanical design research group, and the interest of Pak Sugi is about the biomechanics, multi-body dynamics, flexible structure, and railway vehicles. Graduate from ITB in 2014, and then got his master degree in 2016. So you can see, I think Pak Sugi, yes, you can say hello, Pak Sugi. I will give the spotlight.
Hello, everyone.
Okay, next, Pak Andi Kusoyo. Oh, Pak Andi Kusoyo also here. Bisa nyalain video, Pak Andi Kusoyo. Nah, so, oops. Spotlight for everyone. And Pak Andi Kusyoyo graduated from ITB in 2015 and got his master degree in 2017. Pak Andi Kusyoyo included into the Lightweight Structure Research Group same with Pak Ihsan Setiaputra and also Pak Tata Cipta, Bu Anissa. Udah ya, siapa lagi ya? Kayaknya yang dari Goringan itu ya. Okay, so this is the profile of the each lecturers in the class of statics. And then if you look more, so you can see in this figure, this one is the lecturers of in the class number 1, Pak Andi Isram Hayudin. And here is Pak Sandro Miradi, the lecturer in the class number 2. You can see this one is Pak Tata Cipta Digantara, and also here is the Pak Andi Kusoyo, the lecturers in the class number 3. Myself in the class number 4. And kalau kalian lihat yang paling belakang yang loncatan yang paling aneh itu adalah Bu Anissa Yusuf. And kemudian here is Pak Satrio Wicaksono will be the lecturers in the class number 6. And here is Pak Ihsan, the lecturers in the class number 7. There's another picture. Actually, this picture is when we have the conference in the New Zealand. This picture. Okay. Again. This one is Pak Andi Isram Hayudin, and the left side is Pak Arif Sugiharto, Pak Sandro Miradi, Pak Tata Cipta Dirgantara, this one, and then me in the class number 4, and you can see at here is Pak Bambang Suciatmo, also will in the class number 4, and then yang paling kiri yang tidak mau celananya basah, tidak mau duduk di rumput, itu adalah Pak Satrio Wicaksono, pengampu kelas 6. Nah, kalau yang ini yang keren sendiri itu adalah Pak Rahman Setiawan, pengampu kelas 5. Okay, so this one is the introduction of the lecturers in the statics, and then next we want to go into the learning method. Okay. So in the statics, we have 2 learning method. Di dalam kuliah statika struktur kita ada dua metode pembelajaran. Yang pertama itu adalah yang asinkron, dan yang kedua itu adalah yang sinkron. We have 2 learning method. First is the asynchronous learning, and the second one in the synchronous learning. In the asynchronous learning, you will look the lecture video. We have uploaded into the YouTube, or maybe you can access also in the EduNext later, depend on the lecturers of its classes. And then when you have watched the lecture video in the YouTube or EduNext, you come to the class just like now. We will have the synchronous classes. Okay, synchronous classes. It can be in the Microsoft Teams or Zoom, depend on the lecturer of its classes. Okay. So we hope all of you have watched the lecture video in the YouTube before coming to the synchronous class. Okay. So in the synchronous class, we will just discuss what you still do not understand. And then about the schedule of the synchronous learning for the regular class number 2, 3, 4, 5, and 7, we'll have the class on Wednesday, 1 p.m. until 3 p.m. just like now. Okay, and for the international class, it will be delivered in English, and it is in the class number 1 and class number 6. Class number 1 by Pak Andis Rahmayuddin and Pak Arif Sugiharto, and class number 6 is by Pak Satrio Wicaksono. The schedule is different because you have the different schedule of the practicum of basic physics. So the schedule of the statics for the class number 1 and class number 6 is from 10 until 12. And then we have 1 more hour in the Friday. All classes have the same schedule from 7 a.m. until 8 a.m. Jadi kalian yang bukan orang yang gampang untuk bangun pagi, silakan dibiasakan. Karena kita akan kuliah jam 7 pagi. Okay? And then we have the collaborative learning. The collaborative learning will be on Saturday. Usually it is from 9 a.m. until 11 a.m. Okay. Before I forgot, the lectures will be first we will do it online until the week number 8, and then start the week number 9. We will do the classes. We will do the lectures in hybrid. I think Pak Sandro ya, hybrid ya.
Yeah, hybrid.
Yes. So we will do the hybrid classes start from the week number 9. Okay. And then about the collaborative learning, also hybrid, start from the first collaborative learning. Later you will be divided into the group, and then each group has their own schedule for the online session and the offline session. So just wait for the further announcement about the collaborative learning. And one more, you will have the practicum. Okay, start from this year, there is the practicum, and it is only 1 module. You will try to measure the forces in the structure. Okay. And then about the course rules, you can see attending online courses is compulsory. You must attend the classes more than 70%. If you attend less than 70%, you will not allowed to take the final exam. And then, what's the score? Of course, you will be automatically got an E. Artinya tidak lulus, artinya harus mengulang lagi semester depan. And jangan lupa, karena ini kalian TPB, belum punya jurusan, tentu saja ini akan mempengaruhi nanti prodi kalian. Okay. And then the second one, students should sign in the CX in the allotted time slot. Jadi nanti dosen setiap kelas akan membuka jadwal atau membuka pengisian CX di waktu yang telah dialokasikan. Silakan kalian menandai kehadiran kalian. So please confirm your attendance in the CX. Okay. And the last one, attendance in the collaborative learning and also the practicum will be considered in the final collaborative learning score. Okay. So the next question is, how is the grading system? Okay. The grading system consists of 5 aspects. First is the homework and the quiz. Okay. The second one is the collaborative learning and practicum. And we have the midterm examination 1, midterm examination 2, and the final exam. And each aspect, each assessment will have the same weight, it is 20%. Jadi kalau kalian lihat di sini, setiap aspek mempunyai 20%. Jadi kalau saya bilang, di kuliah statika struktur sangat susah untuk tidak lulus. Jadi bahkan kalau kalian dapat nilai jelek dari ujian UT1, UT2, UAS, tapi kalian kalau rajin kerjakan PR dan CL, kalian sudah mendapatkan nilai 40%. Jadi kalau bisa dibilang kalian akan sangat susah untuk tidak lulus di kuliah ini. Ya. Dan jangan menganggap PR itu adalah beban. Jadi, anggaplah PR itu adalah untuk latihan kalian mengerjakan soal, karena kuliah statika struktur ini konsepnya sebenarnya sedikit, tapi yang diperlukan itu adalah pengalaman kalian dalam mengerjakan masalah. Nah, itu kalian bisa dapatkan di PR. Oke, dan nanti akan ada di collaborative learning juga. Jadi kalau kalian hitung, ya total akan 100%. About the reference, actually you can see that actually there are many references about the statics. First, Beer-Johnston, and then Hibbeler, Merriam, and so on. But our main book here is the Merriam. Okay, you can look for this book. You can buy it in the Amazon or somewhere. Ada juga di internet, tapi silakan kalian cari sendiri, karena kalau misalkan kami sebarkan artinya kami melakukan suatu tindakan ilegal. Jadi silakan kalian cari sendiri. Okay. And this the book Statics, our main book. This one is the excellent resource. Why? Because it is easy to read, easy to understand, and there is a lot of the example you can try to do the problem at there, and then you can study by yourself. Okay, if you didn't understand, you can ask the assistant, you can ask the lecturers in the classes. Okay, you can see this, the inside of the book. We have in this book there are many exercise problems. So the objective of the course until the end of the semester is you have to be able to draw the free body diagram for any type of the structures. Okay, so in the Faculty of Mechanical and Aerospace Engineering, either you are in the mechanical engineering, aerospace engineering, materials engineering, the most important part, the most important ability that you must be able is the free body diagram. You must be able to draw the free body diagram. And then after you draw the free body diagram, you have to calculate the reaction forces and the internal forces for any types of the structures. And calculate the forces on the structural element by considering the friction force. Okay. Jadi kalau kalian lihat, ini sebenarnya mirip dengan apa yang ada di kuliah fisika dasar, tapi diperdalam. Waktu di fisika dasar 1, kalian sudah belajar tentang statika, kalian sudah mencoba menggambarkan diagram benda bebas, kemudian menganalisis hukum Newton dan sebagainya, mirip. Tapi di sini akan diperdalam lagi. Okay, so this one is the syllabus. First, we will study the force system, and then Newton law, free body diagram, and then type of the support, equilibrium equation, crashes. After that, we will have the midterm examination 1. After the midterm examination 1, we will study about the frame and machine, internal forces, distributed loads, and internal forces diagram. Okay, and then we will continue to the second midterm examination, and after that we will have the friction and virtual works, and we have the final examination. For the more complete syllabus, it will be explained by Pak Sandro later, right? Ya kan, Pak Sandro akan dijelaskan lebih lanjut oleh Pak Sandro nanti. And then this one is our schedule. This one is for the regular classes, and here is for the international classes. We'll start on Friday about the force system. Kemudian nanti sampai tanggal 25 Februari kita akan belajar tentang sistem gaya, hukum Newton, diagram benda bebas, keseimbangan sampai trasis. Berarti nanti UTS 1 ya akan dilaksanakan sekitar ya setelah 25 Februari. And then continue to the frame and machine distributed forces, internal forces, and you can see here is the second midterm examination. So it is just around the second week of April. And finally, we will have the friction forces, the application, and the virtual work. And you can see on 15 April, we will have the national holiday. So yeah, you can refresh your mind later in the holiday. So that's all about the introduction. Langsung dilanjutkan ya Bu Anissa ya ke CL ya.
Ya, silakan Pak Ferry.
Okay, and then I will continue to the collaborative learning. So, oops, sorry, I will change it. Yes, so this one is the collaborative learning of the statics. If you read in the student outcomes of the ML0 in the CX, you can find the student outcome just like this. I'm sorry, this one is still in the Bahasa, but the one that I want to give to you is the point number 5 and point number 6. The point number 5, mahasiswa mampu berkomunikasi secara efektif dalam kegiatan collaborative learning. And then number 6, mahasiswa mampu memberikan pendapat dalam menyelesaikan suatu persoalan kesetimbangan dalam kelompok di dalam kegiatan collaborative learning. Jadi, tujuan dari collaborative learning ini tidak hanya untuk meningkatkan pemahaman kalian, tapi juga untuk memberikan pengalaman bekerja sama. Okay, so the purpose of the collaborative learning to add more understanding related to the statics concept, and actually the most important part here is you get the teamwork experience. You have to try to solve the problem together with your group to get the solution of the particular problem. Okay, and about the time, I'm sorry, this one on Saturday, apakah 9 sampai 11 atau 1 sampai 3, you will wait for further announcement. Okay. Biasanya itu disesuaikan dengan jadwal ujian kalian. Kalau tidak salah di awal itu pagi dulu, kemudian nanti berikutnya itu adalah siang karena kalian akan mengikuti ujian tengah semester dari TPB di pagi hari, sorry.
Enggak ada ukurannya.
Marcel, ada pertanyaan? Halo? Oh, kira mau bertanya. Okay, and about the places, just as I said, the collaborative learning will be conducted online and offline. So you will divide it into the group, and then each group will have the schedule for the online session and the offline session. For the online session, it will be by using the Zoom. And for the offline session, of course, will be in the Faculty of Mechanical and Aerospace Engineering building. Jadi nanti kalian akan menggunakan ruang kerja bersama yang ada di FTMD, dan kalian akan menjadi angkatan pertama yang meresmikan ruang kerja bersama tersebut. Itu baru itu. Jadi berbahagia kalian bisa merasakan itu. Kasihan kakak kelas kalian yang sudah keburu lulus tidak bisa merasakan. Oke. Oh ya, saya ada foto tapi saya lupa tampilkan, nanti saya coba cari dulu deh. Okay, so the detail of the offline tutorial will be announced later by Pak Sugi. So just wait for the further announcement. The technical, one group consists of 4 until 5 students and will be assisted by 1 assistant. So you will divide it into the group, and then the group will be helped by 1 assistant. Okay, the cooperative learning will be held by using the Zoom, just like this. And each group will be facilitated for the virtual room. So you can see there is the breakout room in the Zoom later. And then when you are solving the problem together with your group, the assistant will randomly ask each student to turn on the camera. Okay, but this one, if the collaborative learning is conducted online, and if it is offline, akan lebih gampang. Tidak perlu minta mahasiswa untuk nyalain kamera karena bisa langsung kelihatan. Okay, and then please use the A4 paper for the task. Okay, and then the problem will be given to the participant, to the student, after all the group members have joined the session, have joined the Zoom, or come to the place of the CL. Okay, and then each group have to choose one group leader to lead the discussion for that week. Usually, each group will obtain 2 problem sheets consist of 2 until 3 number of the problem. Tapi di sini soalnya itu tidak langsung diberikan langsung 2 atau 3 soal sekaligus. Kalian akan diberikan soalnya itu 1 per 1. Okay. So each group will be given the problem number 1 in the first, and then after you have finished, you will be given the problem number 2, and then after finish, you will be given the problem number 3. Okay. And then each group should discuss the method or the concept to solve the problem. And here, you don't need to calculate first. You have to think about how to solve the problem and how is the free body diagram. Okay. So that's why you can see it is qualitatively. Okay. Okay. Qualitatively. So until this step, you don't need to calculate by using the calculator or put the number into the equation. No need. You just need to think the concept and how to solve the problem until the free body diagram. Okay, and then after that, the group leader should present the method how to get the answer of the question to the assistant. If it is approved by the assistant, the student can continue to the calculation. Okay, and the student will have the extra time of 30 minutes to finish the task. Suara dari mana ya bocor ya? Okay. Please don't come late, because every 30 minutes late, the student will receive score penalty 25%. And for the student who is absent, should give the permission letter to the assistant. Jadi kalau kalian berhalangan, tolong berikan surat izin kepada asistennya. Oke. Nah, kalau tidak ada surat izin, kalian akan mendapatkan nilai 0. Tapi kalau ada surat izin pun, kalian akan dikurangi nilai 25%. Mengapa? Don't forget, the purpose of the collaborative learning here is the teamwork. Okay, so if you don't come to the collaborative learning, although you submitted the permission letter and you solve the problem by yourself, you will lose the teamwork experience. That's why you will get the penalty 25%. Okay. And it is very suggested to have a discussion with also the other group member and the assistant. Jadi kalian dipersilakan untuk berdiskusi juga dengan teman-teman kalian yang ada di kelompok lain. And pengumpulan tugas itu akan pada hari tutorialnya. Okay, the task submission is carried out by the group on the tutorial day. And one more thing, please focus on your work. Please don't focus to the social media, to your gadget and so on. Please focus to the teamwork and to the problem. Oke. Okay? Yang terakhir ini adalah kata mutiara. You will be judged by three things: intelligence, energy, and integrity. But the most important here is the integrity. Kalau nggak ada integrity ya nggak akan, yang ke pertama dan kedua itu nggak akan percuma. Oke. Okay? So if you have any question, you can contact to Pak Sugi directly because he is responsible to the cloud-based learning activity. Okay, I think that's all from me, Bu Anissa.
Okay, thank you very much, Pak Ferry, for the presentations. Now we move to our second session from Pak Sandro. Please welcome Pak Sandro. The time is yours.
Oke, baik, terima kasih Bu Anissa. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Selamat siang, salam sejahtera untuk kita semua. Selamat siang Pak Bambang, Pak Rahman, Pak siapa lagi di sini, ada Pak Satrio, Pak Ferry, Bu Anissa, Pak Andi Kuswoyo, ada Pak Isan ya Punten, dan juga Mas Wira ya di sini. Baik, izin saya akan share screen. Ini mudah-mudahan nggak ngantuk ya. Jam 1 siang dan ngedengerin terus gitu ya. I think some of you or many of you are sleepy right now, but unfortunately we cannot know who are sleepy and who are not. Okay, but I assume that many of you or most of you still have energy to follow the lecture. Okay, I think I have shared my screen. Can you see the screen? My slide?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. Today I'm going to present some kind of introduction of this lecture. Statics, or in Indonesia is statika struktur. Yeah. Mainly in English, and of course in some parts I will also explain it in Bahasa Indonesia. Okay, thank you Pak Bu Anissa for the opportunity given to me. I am Sandro Mihradi, one of the lecturer in statics, and also as already introduced by Pak Ferry, I also the head of undergraduate mechanical engineering program. So for this presentation, I will start from what is a mechanics. Yeah, what is mechanics? So by definition, so the physical science, mechanics is the physical science which describes or predicts the condition of bodies under the action of forces. Jadi ini merupakan ilmu ya, salah satu ilmu yang mencoba menggambarkan atau memprediksi bagaimana respon gitu dari suatu benda begitu ya. Ketika dia diberikan gaya-gaya ya, seperti itu. So, what is statics? Static is the mechanics of bodies at rest ya. Jadi mekanika suatu benda dalam keadaan diam, itu statics ya. And what is dynamics? Dynamics is mechanics of bodies in motion. So you can see the difference. Yeah. In statics, the condition of body is at rest, but in dynamics, the condition of body is in motion. So if we look at the type of the bodies under consideration in mechanics, in general we can divide it into three types. Yeah. The first one is rigid bodies, yeah, as you can see here, rigid body. The second one is deformable bodies. And the third one is fluid. Okay. So rigid bodies means that the bodies is considered not deformed after the application of force, yeah, something like that. Deformable two types of fluids, incompressible like liquid, and also compressible one like a gas. Okay, so as already mentioned in statics, the condition of body is at rest, and in dynamics, the condition of body is in motion. Okay, so in static, we will assume the bodies to be perfectly rigid, no deformation. Yeah, this is the assumption that we use in statics, throughout all chapters. Ya, jadi kita selalu mengasumsikan bendanya itu kaku, ya, nggak terjadi deformasi sama sekali. So, but this is never true in the real world, okay? Because everything deforms a little when a load is applied. Jadi sebenarnya dalam realitinya itu tidak benar, karena benda itu dia berdeformasi ketika diberikan gaya, walaupun magnitudenya sangat kecil, gitu, yang tidak bisa kita lihat dengan mata telanjang. Dalam beberapa benda lain, deformasinya terlihat ya dengan mata telanjang. So, if deformation are small and will not significantly affect the condition of equilibrium or motion, we may neglect the deformations. Yeah. So this is the conditions for assuming the bodies as a rigid one. Okay, so as long as the deformations are small and will not significantly affect the equilibrium or motion, then this assumption may be true. Yeah. So, what is a rigid body? A rigid body is a body is considered rigid when the relative movement between its part are negligible. Ya, jadi rigid body itu, ya, benda kaku atau benda tegar itu, suatu benda dikatakan benda tegar ketika pergerakan relatif pada bagian-bagian unsur-unsur di dalamnya itu diabaikan. Ya, seperti itu. Ya, jadi dalam statika struktur, kita mengasumsikan benda yang kita tinjau itu dalam kondisi rigid, ya, seperti itu. So, next I would like to give you some kind of overview of mechanics, ya. So, in the subject of statics, the type of body under consideration is rigid, and the condition is at static, or at rest. But next semester, you will learn mechanics of material or strength and mechanics of materials. Yeah. So in that subject, we consider the body to be deformable. Okay. But the condition also has the similar with the statics one. It is at static or at rest. Okay. And in the next semester, or I forget, maybe in the same semester, you will also learn dinamika. Yeah. So in dynamics or in dinamika, the body under consideration is in rigid. We assume is also to be rigid. Yeah. And the condition is dynamic. It is in motion, or there is an acceleration to it. Okay. And the next one is the fluid dynamics. So I think both for the mechanical and aerospace engineering will study this one. Okay, in mechanical you will study fluid dynamics, but in aerospace you will learn aerodynamics. Okay, so this is the more difficult one. Yeah, more difficult because the body under consideration is deformable, and also the condition is dynamic. Okay. So as you can see, static is as the basis of, or as the foundation of the mechanics. When you learn mechanics, you need also to master statics. That is because the basic understanding of the mechanics. Okay. Next, I'm going to give you some event several years ago. If you can recall, if you can remember. I think in 2018, 3 years, 4 years, almost 4 years ago, yes, there was an incident at the Bursa Efek Indonesia. Okay, so the mezzanine, the mezzanine itu collapse, the mezzanine collapse, so it raises the question, what caused that one? Okay, so you can see this is a video, okay, of the incident.
Ini adalah detik-detik sebelum ambruknya.
Suaranya terdengar nggak ininya, videonya?
Terdengar.
Terdengar ya? Oke, good. Sorry. Oke ya, saya ulang lagi.
Ini adalah detik-detik sebelum ambruknya Selasar di gedung Bursa Efek Indonesia. Terlihat di sini ada begitu banyak mahasiswa yang sedang berjalan di Selasar bagian atas. Lebih dari 40 sampai 50 orang. Terlihat sekali bahwa penyangga yang menempel ke atas tidak kuat menahan suhu. Ini adalah wujud dari prakteknya setelah kejadian dan melakukan evakuasi. Kita tidak mengerti apakah benar atau tidak bahwa Selasar itu tidak bisa ditemukan. Sepengetahuan saya tidak pernah ada orang berkumpul terlalu banyak di Selasar. Bisa jadi Selasar itu hanya
Oke, ini jadi kejadian beberapa tahun lalu ya. Jadi kita bisa lihat ada selasar yang rubuh ya ketika ada visitasi begitu ya dari mahasiswa satu kampus begitu ya ke Bursa Efek Jakarta. Nah, memang kejadiannya saat itu mereka tuh berkumpul begitu ya dalam jumlah yang banyak. Tadi katanya 40-50 orang dalam satu lokasi begitu ya. Nah, sehingga diperkirakan itu memberikan beban yang berlebih ya, yang memang Selasar itu tidak didesain untuk menopang beban sebesar itu begitu. So as an engineer, this is a very interesting case ya. So I think for all the mechanical engineering students as well as aerospace and also material engineers, if you see this kind of problem, it will provoke you, something. Why this kind of incident happen? What is the cause of that one? So it's raising some question, okay, and that's if that kind of question arise in your mind, then it is a good sign that you are actually entering the correct faculty, ya. Seperti itu. Jadi kalau misalnya Anda bertanya-tanya, kenapa ini terjadi, begitu penasaran, some curiosity, ya. Kalau muncul seperti itu, selamat, Anda benar nih masuknya nggak salah masuk ya, masuk FTMD begitu, ya. Oke, this is some analysis ya, about the cause of the failure. Okay, so as you can see, as you can read this one, there are first is there's a concentration of loadings, yeah, at a particular position, yeah, so that the road is detached from the roof or something like this. So why that was happening? Probably the mezzanine was not designed to accommodate so many person at the same time at the certain location, something like that. Once the road is detached, then the floor cannot sustain the load, because this one is only joined by bolts, something like this. So the moment is so big, therefore it cannot be sustained by the structure here. Okay, so this kind of problem is should be very an interesting case, yeah, for the engineers, yeah, to know what is the cause of this problem, yeah. So we need to know that because in order that we will not do the same mistake, ya. Jadi tujuan dari kita mengetahui apa penyebab suatu kejadian, ya, itu supaya tidak terjadi lagi di masa yang akan datang. Ya, jadi kita belajar dari satu kejadian. Oke, okay? So as you can see, there are also the news, ya, about this one, and some speculation and so on. Yeah. But as an engineer, we do not focus on this one. Yeah, we focus on the real case. Yeah, in this case is the design of the mezzanine. And also in other occasion, you can see that in also at the same year, 2018, there was a bridge collapse. Yeah, in Bengawan Solo. Yeah. Can see that there was a truck, yeah, involved here, and let's see, yeah, or 3 trucks, 1 motorcycle, yeah, and 1 casualty, yeah, fatalities, 1 fatalities, yeah. So it raises question, what is the cause of this one? Okay, and one of the expert of from one university said that it probably due to the lack of maintenance of the bridge, but we don't know yet, yeah, about the cause about that one. Okay, this one is at the Lapangan Cinta. I don't know whether you know already about this one. So this is actually not an official name. This this court is actually on the front of the East Student Center, Campus Center, sorry, East Campus Center. So if you happen to come to campus, I think once you enter the gate, or the main gate, this court is on the right side, yeah, before you, when you facing the information center, yeah, at the rotunda. Okay, so for those of you who don't know yet, yeah, hopefully this semester you can access the campus more frequently, and you can also try this one. So this is actually some kind of desk, yeah, designed for desk like this one, yeah, as you can see, yeah. But I don't know, sometimes not sometimes, suddenly, yeah, suddenly, I don't know, I forgot the exact date, this desk, yeah, is a collapse like this one. So what is the problem? Whether this is due to bad design, yeah, or due to faulty construction, yeah, or wrong operational, yeah, wrong operational. So as you can see, this is should be only to hold, yeah, books or something like that. But sometimes, you know, like many I don't know, many students or some people are so crazy. Sometimes they stand up, yeah, on top of the desk, something like that, and then the failure may occur due to that one. Okay, so these were very interesting case, yeah. But in order for you to be able to understand those incidents, yeah, to be able to describe, yeah, the condition, yeah, you need the knowledge, yeah. That's why you need to follow this class, yeah, statics. So the objective of the course, as this one is actually already presented by Pak Ferry, So at the end of the semester, you should be able to first draw free body diagram for any type of structure. What is free body diagrams? It is some kind of a sketch of a structure or of a body under consideration, and then you at that body or at that structure, you draw all the forces and reaction forces, yeah, known forces and also the unknown forces acting on that body. Yeah. All the connection to the body uh, should be detached, yeah, so that the body is free from all the connection or from all contact, something like that. So this only the body and also the force is acting on it. So this one, of course, need skill, yeah, uh, so that you will be able to draw free body diagram correctly. Yeah. This one is very important step to analyze the equilibrium of the body. Okay. And then the second one is to calculate the reaction forces and internal forces for any type of structures. Once you are able to draw the free body diagram, then you can analyze the equilibrium condition using Newton's law. Okay, using Newton's law. Yeah, and then by applying that Newton's law, you will be able to calculate the unknown forces acting on the external of the body. Okay, like that. And then also you will be learning on how to calculate the internal forces. There are external forces, also there is also internal forces. There are also internal forces in the structure or in the body. Okay, so by using that information, the internal forces, then you can calculate further, yeah, like stresses, and then you can evaluate whether the stress still below the strength of that material. Okay, but we do not study that one yet. We will study that one in the next semester in the subject of strength and mechanics of materials. Okay, and then after that, to calculate forces on a structural element by considering friction. So we also learn friction here. Okay, the content includes in statics, review on force system. I believe that during high school, you also already study this one. I think also in physics, also study this one. Free body diagram, equilibrium, simple structure analysis, truss and frame, distributed forces, internal forces, and friction. So this is the illustration of all the subjects that we learn, yeah, during this semester. The force system, yeah, and so we'll study the force, moment, couple, resultant, yeah, on a body, yeah, and then after that we will study equilibrium. We will use Newton's law here, and then we will learn on how to draw the free body diagram and how to evaluate the equilibrium of that body in two-dimensional and also in three-dimensional cases. And then after that, we will learn structure, yeah, forces acting on structures, yeah, in the form of plane trusses, yeah, and also frames and machines. And then after that, distributed forces, whether it is line, area, volume, and also you will learn on how to calculate center of gravity, center of mass, and the centroid of a geometry, and so on. And after that, you will also learn internal force, yeah, internal force acting inside the structure, inside the body, yeah, so that you will be able to draw the diagram, internal force diagram, whether it is normal force, shear force, bending moment, including torsion here, yeah, something like that. So what is normal, what is shear force, what is bending moment, I will not give it here. So you will learn that one from your lecture, okay? And then finally, friction. Yeah, we will learn dry friction, belt friction, and also some application of friction, yeah, something like that. Course the syllabus already explained by Pak Ferry, okay? Okay. This diagram show you the mechanical engineering stream course. Yeah, as you can see, the connection between subjects. Yeah, the connection between subjects that you will learn in mechanical engineering undergraduate program. Yeah, so after statics, you will learn strength of materials, and at the same time, you will also learn kinematics and dynamics, and so on. And after that, you will learn design of machine elements 1, design of machine elements 2, yeah. And you can see all the connection, yeah, to static. So as you can see here, static is as the foundation, yeah, of this mechanics science, yeah, something like that. And using this knowledge, then you will be able to apply it, yeah, for piping and pipeline, mechanical design, vehicle engineering, and so on. Yeah, finite element method, process industrial equipment, and so on. This is the application. Okay. And this one is for the aerospace engineering stream course. It's very similar. Yeah, very similar with the mechanical engineering. The difference is on the object. Yeah. So for mechanical engineering, it is for the element, yeah, design of element. This one is for the aircraft structure, okay, for the analysis and also structural design. Okay. Okay. You can see on the right is the picture of truck molten, yeah, mixer, yeah. So on the left, yeah, on the left, it shows you what we call as a free body diagram, yeah, of this structure. This one is used to uh, to flow the mixing cement and so on, yeah, something like that. So in order to be able to calculate the forces acting on the structure, we need to draw the free body diagram. Yeah. So in this case, for example, this 2,240 Newton is the known forces. Yeah. And this one, the forces at B is the unknown forces. Yeah. The reaction forces at B, and at A is this one is also the reaction forces at pin A. Yeah. In X and Y direction. Okay. So by applying the Newton's law, the equilibrium condition, equilibrium equation, then you can get, you can calculate the unknown forces. Okay. So this is some kind of illustration on how you draw the free body diagram. So also like this one. Yeah. This one is excavator. Yeah. And once we get the geometry of that excavator and we know the loading, yeah, and then we can calculate all the forces acting on each element, on each rod, yeah, structure, and so on. Okay, this is the example of the calculation. Okay, but we are not going to discuss this one because for today's introduction, this would be fun. Okay, we will not introduce you for some calculation. Yeah. Okay, so basically, as you can see here, the external load, yeah, acting, yeah, on the structure that we design should be calculated, yeah, and then we must be able to calculate the internal forces inside that structure, so that we can design, or we can design a proper a proper structure, yeah, to sustain the load. Okay. So, for example, the structure like this, okay, will have to sustain a distributed load like this one. So this is some simplification, yeah, of the loadings on one of the beams at the structure. Okay, there are, for example, distributed load like this, and also concentrated load like this one. And then after that, we have to calculate the internal force distribution along the beam. Ya, jadi di sini kita perlu atau harus ya untuk bisa menghitung bagaimana gaya dalam yang bekerja pada struktur tersebut di dalam hal ini di sepanjang BIM itu, sehingga nantinya kita bisa mengevaluasi apakah nantinya ya BIM tersebut masih mampu, misalnya contohnya untuk menahan beban yang diberikan, begitu. Itu nantinya akhirnya akan dikaitkan dengan materialnya, begitu ya, yang membentuk struktur tersebut. Oke, so when we talk about a design of a structure or a design of a body or of a particular element, so at least there are two consideration. Yeah, the first is the loading. The first is the loading. Yeah, the second one is the material that built the structure. Okay, so first loading. Okay, the loading. So here we must be able to calculate all forces. We must be able to calculate all forces acting on that structure that we will design. Okay, such as the support reaction as well as internal forces, yeah, acting inside that structure. And then after that, we can evaluate the stresses developed inside that structure. So in statics, you will learn here until this one. Okay, load, support, reaction, internal force. This one is in statics. Okay, so in strength and mechanics of material, yeah, you will learn how to calculate stresses due to the internal forces developed inside the structure. Okay, okay. So di muaranya di sini, ya. The end point is here, yeah, the stresses. Yeah. The second one, yeah, the second factor is the material. Okay, we have to choose the proper material that will build up the structure. Okay, so we have to consider the material properties, for example, like density, conductivity, corrosion resistance, and so on, something like that, and as well as mechanical properties like tensile strength, compressive strength, modulus of elasticity, and so on. Yeah, and the end point of this one is the strength of that material. Okay, and then we compare this one, the stress that develop inside the structure that we design, and after that the strength of that material. Yeah, the strength of that material. So if the strength is greater than the stress developed inside the material, then we can say that the structure will be safe. Yeah, of course there's some safety factor. Yeah, safety factor for this one. Yeah, so usually if the stress is equal to the strength, then we can say that it will fail. So when we design something, usually we put some kind of safety factor, so that we can be more confident that the structure will not fail. Yeah. Yeah, because there are so many uncertainties when we design and when we construct or manufacture the structure. Yeah. Okay. So technically speaking, yeah, the structure will not fail when the strength is greater than the stress developed inside. Okay. Or oppositely, technically speaking, the structure will fail if the stress is equal or greater than the strength of the material. Okay, so what are the causes of the failure? There are so many possibilities, yeah, so many possibilities. Like we have a bad design, as I mentioned earlier, or there are faulty in the construction. Yeah, for example, due to the design, you must use, for example, the rod with diameter of 10 millimeter, but in practice, people use 8 millimeter rod. Yeah, for example, like that. So if you have experience to buy some beam, something like that in the material shop. You will be asked mau beli yang 10 mm atau yang 10 meter banci ya, seperti itu ya. Seperti itu. Jadi ada bancinya gitu ya. Nah, so there the faulty in construction ya. Ya, it depends of course on the integrity of the people that construct the structure. And also there also possibility that the failure caused by the excessive loading, ya, wrong operational, ya, wrong operation, or do not follow the instruction on how to use that particular machine element or something like that. Okay, so there are cases like this one, overload cases. Yeah, you can see this is becak kribo, not becak, bajai kribo, bajai kribo. So you cannot, I cannot imagine like this one, how the the driver get out from this vehicle. I don't know. Okay, of course, maybe he needs some help, or maybe something like this. Yeah, this is of course an overload cases that will make the failure. Yeah, something like this one or this one. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe some of you have already seen this incident, in YouTube. Yeah. So. Okay. So you see that this incident, is due to the overload, because as you can see, this is way beyond the capacity. And as a mechanical engineering student or FTMD student, you can feel that, okay, the center of gravity of the loadings is very high, very high, and stability, then it affects the stability of the vehicle. Okay, so to maintain the stability, good stability, some vehicle try to make the center of gravity of the vehicle as low as possible. So, but for this case, the center of gravity is way too high, so that that vehicle has very poor stability, jadi stabilitasnya ini terkompromikan karena beban yang sangat berlebih begitu ya. Nah, kemudian ini ada satu berita menarik bahwa Inka mendapatkan menang tender lah ibaratnya untuk membuat kereta api, gerbong kereta api di Bangladesh ya. But from what I heard from a colleague that used to work there, there is some additional requirement in the design of the car. What is that? Maybe you can guess. Apa kira-kira tambahan desainnya, requirement-nya? Ada yang bisa menebak nggak?
Tahan overload, Pak.
Tahan overload, betul. Especially di mananya? Di atapnya ya. Anda lihat ya. Jadi usually for normal car when we design the roof, we assume that the loading is only by its own structure, the roof structure, and also some maybe AC, air conditioner, and so on. Some designer may not be able to predict that the loading will be like something like this. So this is very, very interesting. Okay. So, but for Inka, the the Bangladeshi side, they already told Inca that please strengthen the roof, strengthen the roof. Because why? Because like this one, yeah. So the behavior of the passenger is like this. Okay. Okay. This one is another case. Okay. Hyatt Regency walkway collapse. Yeah. So there is a walkway, some kind of a bridge. Yeah. Here. Sorry. Okay, nggak apa-apa deh ini. Yeah. So there was actually a bridge here and also bridge here for at the fourth and the second floor. Okay. So those bridges at the second and fourth floor actually suspended by the same road. Yeah, the same road actually, like this one. Okay, something like that. And at one occasion when there was a party and so many people attending this building and also standing, so many people standing on the top of the bridge, yeah, bridge at the second, and also this one is the fourth floor. This one is at the second floor. This one is at the third floor. Yeah, yeah. So when it fails, the fourth bridge fell into the second one, and then after that the second one is also fell, and there are so many fatalities there. Okay, so what caused that one? So this is the description of the incident. Yeah, so in 1981, approximately 1,600 people gathered in the atrium. Yeah. Then as you can see, yeah, the fourth floor bridge was suspended directly over the second floor bridge. Yeah, suspended directly. Jadi yang jembatan keempatnya itu persis di atas jembatan yang di tingkat 2-nya, gitu ya. Nah, construction difficulties resulted in a subtle but flawed design change that double the load on the connection between the fourth floor walkway support beams and the tie rods carrying the weight of both walkway. Jadi ada perubahan desain gitu di tengah-tengahnya karena ada masalah kesulitan untuk mengkonstruksi rodnya, begitu akhirnya ada perubahan desain. Tapi ini perubahan ini sangat fatal yang akhirnya menyebabkan beban pada nutnya, pada baut yang menahan bridge di lantai 4 itu menjadi double, 2 kali lipatnya begitu. Nah, so this new design was barely adequate to support the dead load weight of the structure itself, much less the added weight of the spectators. Ya, jadi dia dengan desain yang baru ini dia sendiri hanya dead loadnya aja dari beban si strukturnya aja dia nggak kuat sebenarnya. Apalagi ada tambah manusia di situ, orang-orang di situ. The connection failed and the fourth floor walkway collapsed onto the second floor walkway. Both walkway then fell to the lobby floor below, resulting in 111 deaths at the scene and 219 injuries. 3 additional victims died after being transported to hospital, bringing the total number of deaths to 114. So this is very big incident at that time. Yeah. So this is the original design on the left. Yeah, original design. So the suspension rod actually continue from the fourth, and also this one is for the second floor, something like that. See, so as you can see, the loading on the nut here at the initial design is only P, due to the load on the fourth floor itself. Okay, but because due to the difficulty in the manufacturing of the road, in this case is the ulirnya, ulir saya lupa because this one is very long road, and it's difficult to make ulir here, then the design was changed, so the road will the connection will be the actual construction is like this on the right. See, so it seems it's the same, yeah. But after careful observation, as you can see, yeah, at the nut there will be two P, double the load. First load is due to the weight of the fourth floor bridge, and the second one is due to the load of the second floor bridge. So this is very fatal, yeah, very fatal, yeah. So as an engineer, as you must be very careful for this one. Okay, so in this case, the engineers employed, yeah, who had approved the final drawings were convicted, yeah, by Missouri Board of Architects, Professional Engineers, and Land Surveyors of gross negligence, misconduct, and unprofessional conduct in the practice of engineering. They all lost their engineering licenses in the states of Missouri, yeah, and then membership with ASCE. Yeah. Although the company was discharged of criminal negligence, it lost its license to be an engineering firm. Jadi perusahaannya pun juga kena tuh, ya. Jadi engineer-nya dicabut license-nya, perusahaannya walaupun dia bebas dari kriminal begitu ya, tapi dia hilang license-nya sebagai engineering firm, ya. Nah, kemudian berapa kerugiannya? Nah, kalau kita lihat di sini, akhirnya ini settlement-nya ini $100 juta, ya, yang harus dibayar oleh perusahaannya itu, ya. Tapi tidak hanya perusahaannya, tapi juga a large amount of this money was from Crown Center Corporation, a wholly owned subsidiary of Hallmark Cards, which was the owner of the hotel real estate. Ya, jadi yang punya hotelnya juga bayar di situ, begitu, kena akibatnya, ya. Termasuk juga insurance company-nya juga kena juga tuh, dia jadi ketimpa juga tuh, ya, untuk bayar semuanya ini, ya. So as an engineer we must be very careful about this one, yeah. That's why please study this subject wholeheartedly, ya, sepenuh hati begitu ya, and in very serious manner, ya, so that you will be equipped with adequate knowledge and skill, ya, in statics. Okay. Ini another case, ya, jemaah Indonesia meninggal akibat keren roboh di Mekah nih. Nah, ini waktu itu berapa tahun lalu, tahun 2015. Jadi saat itu ada badai, ya, badai angin besar gitu, sehingga akhirnya kerennya saat itu masih erected, ya, masih berdiri. Akhirnya dia collapse, ya. Nah, ini apa penyebabnya seperti itu? Nah, jadi saat itu ada strong thunderstorm, ya. Wind speed-nya 80 km/h. Ya, dan juga sampai 105 km/h. So, wind speed chart show that the crawler crane could not withstand such high wind load. Jadi by design, di desainnya itu sudah ada gitu bahwa dia nggak bisa nih untuk bertahan dengan kondisi angin sekencang itu, ya. Dan sebenarnya dalam prosedurnya, ya, itu boomnya itu batangnya itu, ya, batang si crane itu seharusnya diturunin gitu, nggak erected, harusnya di lowered gitu, ya, seperti itu. Harusnya begitu prosedurnya. Jadi akhirnya ini ada istilahnya wrong operation, ya, wrong operation. Oke. Jadi SOP-nya nggak diikuti gitu. Harusnya tahu ada badai, ininya harus diturunin gitu, jangan erected gitu. Karena dia nggak akan kuat untuk menahan beban angin sebesar itu. Nah, kemudian berikutnya gimana kalau strukturnya kompleks, Pak? Very complex structure. How do you analyze the forces, the stresses? Yeah, it is difficult. But right now we have a computer program. We have computer simulation, yeah, that will help us to do analysis, yeah, stress analysis, yeah. It's like finite element method, boundary element method, finite difference method, discrete element method, and so many methods available, yeah, right now, yeah. So as you can see, this one show you the result of finite element analysis, yeah, of teeth, ya, with jadi rahang, ya, rahang gigi, ya, seperti itu. So this, by doing this one, we will be able to observe the stresses, yeah, at on the teeth and also at the root of the teeth. Okay. So you can see that on the right video, this is the experiment, yeah, crashworthiness experiment, yeah, of train, yeah. Oops, sorry. See what happened, yeah, to the train. Okay. But actually, yeah, sorry. We can also do the simulation, yeah, finite element simulation, yeah. So this will be more cheaper, of course, yeah, and it will be more faster in the analysis, yeah. So this is an extra, how to say, extra skill that you will learn in FTMD, yeah, because in FTMD we also offer a class finite element method, which you can take as a elective course, yeah, additional course for you. Okay. Also in the structural analysis, we also using computer to analyze the stresses, yeah, and by if we have that skill, we can do analysis wherever we are, yeah, from home, something like that, and then like this one, yeah, there is a communication between the expert and the client, yeah, and then maybe the client asks the expert to help him analyze their design, yeah, and then the experts try to simulate it in his or her house, yeah, work from home, yeah, and then do the analysis like this one, and then give the recommendation. Oh, here the stress is too high here, so you must change the design, something like that, the geometry and so on. Okay. Ini gimana cara ngapus coretan? Ada coretan ya di sini kuning ya, kelihatan ya. Clear. Oh, udah, oke, bisa. Oke, good. Oke ya. How to master statics? First, pay attention when the lecturer give explanation. Actively participating by solving the problems in your own notebook. Okay. So sometimes the lecturer will ask you to, okay, please calculate this one. Draw the free body diagram of this case. Yeah. Something like you should actively engage in that one. Okay. Read the textbook related to the subject. Rework the problems done in 3 without looking at the solution manual. Yeah. This is some exercise for you, of course. Yeah. Practice by solving problem set from the textbook. If there is any difficulties, discuss it with your friends or assistant. Yeah. Jadi you should be active. Yeah. Yeah. Active. Yeah. Okay. How to read the textbook? Okay, as you know that the textbook is quite thick. Yeah. You don't need to read every word in that book. Yeah. Find the meaning of the word. You do not understand the dictionary. If the textbook is belong to you, write down the meaning of the words you find from dictionary using pencil. If you borrow the book, you write it down in your notes. So yeah, sometimes we borrow it from the library, right? Yeah. So if you borrow it from the library, please, yeah, do not write your notes in that book. Okay. So if a section is difficult to understand, find a key paragraph, then find a core sentence of that paragraph. Try to understand the meaning of that sentence. Connect the paragraph in 3 with the previous paragraph and previous section, so that you will get a full understanding of or full meaning. Yeah. Okay. There will be no tolerance to academic misconduct. We would like to emphasize this one, ya. Nggak boleh ya nanti titip absen, mengumpulkan PR milik teman, contek, ya. bekerja sama saat ujian, ya, saat collaborative learning nggak masalah, justru harus ya. Menjadi joki ujian gitu, apalagi lagi online begitu ya nih sekarang, dan kecurangan-kecurangan lainnya ya. Ini tidak ada toleransi. Jadi sudah banyak terjadi ya di semester-semester sebelumnya, langsung kita E kan, tidak ada tawar-menawar, langsung E nilainya ya. Ya, jadi jangan coba-coba E nilainya, dan kalau misalnya lebih parah dari itu bisa mendapat bonus lagi ya, bonus dalam arti bonus hukuman ya. Oke, mechanical engineer. Nah, oke, ini yang santai-santai ini. So what my friends think I do. So this is like stereotype yeah, of a mechanical engineer, that many people thinks that mechanical engineers usually work in the car shop, yeah, for fixing the cars and so on, something like that. And what my mother thinks I do, your mother still actually she doesn't know what you did, and but she thinks that okay, you just try to combine some Legos, building things, something like that. Yeah. And what society thinks I do. Also, this is very cool. The society thinks you are doing a very cool work here. Yeah. Especially in ITB. Yeah. But we don't know the reality. Okay. Yet. Yeah. And what other mechanical engineers think I do? So your the other mechanical engineers thinks that you like this very cute creatures here. You like observing something that you don't really know what it is, yeah, something like that, yeah. And what I think I do, you think where you are doing very big thing, yeah? You think that you are doing a very big thing, very sophisticated, yeah, something like that. But finally, what I really do, you are calculating this one, yeah. Force distribution, the reaction forces, yeah, internal forces, and so on. Okay, and then aerospace engineer. Okay, what my parents think I do, something's very cool. You are doing very, I don't know, very cool things, yeah, like an astronaut. What my friends think I do, like you're doing a party or something like that. What other major things I do? Or you're doing maybe designing a combat aircraft, bomber, and so on. What girls think I do? Like Tom Cruise, like this is one. Yeah. Very cool. Yeah. And what I think I do? You're designing something very futuristic. Yeah. That this is like Star Trek. Yeah. Star Trek things. And what I really do, you're out of memory, shutting down, give up, something like that. So materials engineers, okay, this is what my friends think I do. Sorry, this is the stereotype in the society that that they think that you're selling some things, materials, things, something like that. And what the government thinks I do, you build some futuristic materials, like a solar panel, something like that. What my mom thinks I do, something very special in the lab, something like that. What my colleagues think I do, like this. And what I think I do, something very cool. And what I actually do, like this one, drawing unsur-unsur atom, yeah, atomic, something like that. Structures of atoms and so on. Sorry, I'm not trying to discourage all of you, but this just for fun, okay? So lastly, I'm going to tell you that there are some 10 top skills that are needed in 2015, 2020, 2025. Yeah. So as you can see, the analytical thinking become the most needed one. Yeah. So as you can see here, also complex problem solving, yeah, critical thinking and analysis, creativity, originality, and initiative. So all of this actually you can get it from by following the lectures here in ITB. Yeah. So because, for example, in statics, you will learn some problems. You will have to analyze some problems, yeah, and how to solve that problems, yeah, something like that. Okay. So please use your time in effectively, yeah, during your course in ITB. Okay. So your goals, contribution, and have a meaningful life. Okay. So yang jadi apa? Mechanical engineers. Nah ini ceritanya ini siapa? Alumni kita angkatan 88 Pak Jaya. Saya ingin melihat pulau-pulau terluar di Indonesia menyala di malam hari menggunakan bahan bakar bambu, sumber energi yang terbarukan. Ya, ini mudah-mudahan bisa menjadi inspirasi ya. Jadi kalian menjadi mechanical engineer, tapi akhirnya berpikir apa yang bisa diberikan ya, kontribusi apa yang bisa kita berikan untuk negara, ya, untuk masyarakat. Nah ini beliau ini, dia punya mimpi seperti ini. Gitu. Akhirnya apa yang dia lakukan, dia membuat ini ya, electricity from bambu. Ini waktunya sudah pengen habis ya. Mohon maaf saya cepetin aja ya. Jadi masih banyak sekali di Indonesia ini daerah yang masih belum punya akses terhadap listrik ya, atau sangat terbatas begitu. Ya. Nah ini Pak Jaya nih, alumni kita ya, mesin angkatan 88. Ini teman seangkatannya Pak Tata. Jadi dengan menggunakan biomas, ya, pembangkit listrik tenaga biomas. Bahannya apa? Bambu.
Sehingga seluruh masyarakat bisa ikut terlibat.
Nah, seperti itu. Jadi bambunya itu diolah oleh masyarakat dan dibeli begitu ya, untuk menjadi bahan bakar dari pembangkit listrik tenaga biomasa itu. Ya. Nah, ini.
Kami percaya konsep listrik gotong royong dengan menggunakan biomasa bambu ini bisa diterapkan di pulau-pulau lain, tidak hanya untuk masyarakat Mentawai saja. Karena Indonesia kaya dengan tanaman bambu. Selain itu, konsep listrik gotong royong berbasis hutan bambu tidak hanya akan mengalirkan listrik bagi masyarakat setempat, tetapi juga akan meningkatkan kesejahteraan mereka.
Oke. Jadi luar biasa ya. Bisa seperti itu. Oke, mudah-mudahan ini bisa menambah semangat Anda mengikuti kuliah gitu ya di statika struktur ini. Ini video ya dari satelit NASA ya pada malam hari di Indonesia. Anda lihat yang terang itu hanya Pulau Jawa. Kalimantan tuh lihat gelap sekali. Irian Papua apalagi ya seperti itu. Dan hanya di beberapa tempat tertentu saja itu nyala gitu, di titik-titik tertentu saja nyala. Ini menjadi satu PR besar ya bagi kita ya. Seperti itu. Nah, ini Pulau Jawa yang sangat terang ya kelihatan ya. Oke, nah di Papua nih, Papua gelap sekali. Ini jadi satu tantangan ya buat kita. Oke, ini Dream Big ya. Ini jadi buku Negeri 5 Menara. Ya. Dulu kami tidak takut bermimpi, walau sejujurnya juga tidak tahu bagaimana merealisasikannya. Tapi lihatlah hari ini setelah kami mengarahkan segala ikhtiar dan mengenapkan dengan doa, Tuhan mengirim benua impian ke pelukan masing-masing. Kun fayakun, maka semua awan impian kini hidup yang nyata. Kami berenam telah berada di dalam negara yang berbeda, di 5 menara impian kami. Jangan pernah remehkan impian, walau setinggi apapun. Tuhan sungguh maha mendengar. Jadi semangat ya semuanya ya. Ini masih TB tapi waktu kita nggak cukup ya untuk mendengarkan. Silakan Anda dengarkan di YouTube gitu untuk menambah semangat pas lagi belajar ya, pada lagi ngerjakan PR dan seterusnya. Oke, Dilan nih, jangan masuk ITB, berat. Kamu nggak akan kuat. Ya, biar aku saja. Nah, terus kalau masuk FTM adalah kesalahan, ya sudah. Biar aku salah terus saja, gitu ya. Oke, baik. Itu saja. Terima kasih atas perhatiannya. Mohon maaf, nih waktunya cukup lama. 50 menit lebih, 60 menit ya. Terima kasih. Saya kembalikan ke Bu Anissa. Enggak, Bu?
Terima kasih banyak, Pak Sandro, untuk presentasinya yang sangat menginspirasi. Students, now we come to the Q&A session. If there are any questions, please use raise hand tools. Then please turn on the video and mention your name. Any questions? Ada pertanyaan boleh pakai bahasa Indonesia, silakan. Jika ada pertanyaan tentang aturan perkuliahan, tentang collaborative learning, lalu tentang kuliah statika, silakan. Oke, Raffi Putra, silakan. Kalau bisa nyalakan videonya ya, biar teman-teman yang kenal.
Baik, sebentar ya, Bu.
Ya, silakan.
Oh, maaf, Bu. Untuk videonya tidak bisa di-start, Bu.
Oke. Belum nyisir ya?
Baik, Bu.
Silakan.
Untuk pertanyaan saya, tadi kan sempat disebutkan bahwa ada video untuk pembelajaran kelas statika ya, Bu. Itu untuk videonya yang dapat dilihat di mana ya, Bu? Terima kasih.
Ya, mungkin Pak Ferry atau Pak Sandro bisa.
Oke, itu jadi itu nanti tiap dosen tiap kelas itu ya tergantung dari dosen tiap kelas ya, tapi biasanya itu akan di-upload ke EduNext, kemudian nanti nanti tersambung ke YouTube. Seperti itu, Raffi.
Mas Sandro, ada tambahan Pak?
Ya, jadi mungkin nanti di EduNext ya kayaknya ya. Di EduNext akan diberikan linknya gitu kan. Masing-masing kan masuknya di EduNext di kelas masing-masing ya. Nanti kita akan coba provide di situ. Ya. Tapi mungkin nggak semuanya, bukan berarti itu belum tentu itu dosennya sendiri yang di video itu ya. Ya, jadi nanti bisa juga sumbernya dari baik itu dari kita sumber itu dosen ITB atau dari luar ya, dari yang lain ya. Seperti itu.
Terima kasih Pak Ferry, Pak Sandro. Raffi gimana? Cukup jelas?
Sudah jelas, Bu. Terima kasih.
Ya, terima kasih pertanyaannya Raffi. Untuk yang lain silakan, ada pertanyaan lagi? Kita masih punya sekitar 7 menit, bisa mungkin 2 pertanyaan lagi. Silakan. Sudah pasrah dengan collaborative learning hari Sabtu? Ada yang mau bertanya nggak? Dengan CL hari Sabtu?
Ini rata-rata sudah di Bandung belum sih? Atau masih di luar Bandung?
Ini ada yang angkat tangan nih, Pak Sandro. Muhammad Kemal, silakan.
Silakan.
Halo, perkenalkan, saya Muhammad Kemal Studian, NIM 169212886 dari FTMD Internasional. Mau nanya tentang collaborative learning itu mulai dari minggu ke berapa ya?
Silakan Pak Ferry.
Terima kasih Pak, terima kasih Bu.
Ya.
Oke, mungkin Pak Sugi saja yang menjawabnya. Saya sebagai koordinator CL.
Ya, silakan Pak Sugi.
Oke, mungkin untuk collaborative learning karena harus mengikuti juga materi yang sudah disampaikan di kelas, kemungkinan di pekan kedua atau ketiga masa perkuliahan, atau mungkin sekitar awal Februari, Bu Anissa.
Awal Februari, Muhammad Kemal. Gimana? Ada pertanyaan lanjutan tidak?
Enggak, sudah cukup. Terima kasih.
Ya, oke. Silakan yang lain. Kita masih punya 5 menit. Ayo, silakan. Mumpung kita sedang berkumpul semua kelas. Sepertinya
Kemal masih ngikutin Kemal?
Iya, kenapa Pak?
Kalau di TPB sekarang kuliahnya daring atau hybrid ya?
Kalau sekarang masih untuk semua matko masih daring Pak, masih
daring ya, masih daring ya. Tapi kan ada eksperimen kah nanti tuh fisika ya, bukan?
Iya, ada Pak. Itu kalau di jadwal kita bulan Maret sama April.
Oh, baru bulan Maret ya ininya ya. Oke. Sempat ada pengumuman dari TPB kapan hybridnya atau luringnya?
Kalau buat yang Ganesha nggak ada Pak. Jadi kemarin dari PTPB ada yang buat Nangor aja.
Yang sini Nangor gitu. Ya. Oke. Ya, kalau kita rencananya kita mengusahakan mulai pekan ke-9 ya, karena memang sedang disiapkan ruang-ruang kelasnya gitu supaya bisa hybrid begitu. Itu informasi dari TPB-nya begitu pekan ke-9 rencananya.
Berarti untuk mahasiswa statika struktur ini harusnya sudah siap-siap di minggu ketiga ya, Pak Sandro ya, Pak Sugi ya, ada di Bandung gitu ya.
Oh ya, untuk yang
Iya.
collaborative learning ya, seperti
Iya.
Dan
itu.
juga sebetulnya untuk mata kuliah lain itu di luar ini ada juga nanti yang praktikum harus di Bandung.
Oh ya, gambar teknik ya Pak Sugi ya.
Gambar teknik.
Betul.
Nanti setelah ini disambung gambar teknik.
Iya, betul, betul.
Ya, jadi mungkin sudah harus dipersiapkan ya Pak Sandro untuk ada di Bandung gitu.
Ya, mudah-mudahan pada pengen kan ya masuk ke kampus ya. Jangan-jangan udah pada mager nih, malas gerak nih. Mudah-mudahan ya. Oke.
Silakan, mungkin satu pertanyaan, waktu kita sudah hampir habis ini. Ada yang masih penasaran dengan perkuliahan semester ini, khususnya statika? Oke, mungkin nanti kalau ada pertanyaan lagi bisa tanyakan ke dosennya masing-masing ya di hari
Ya, betul, betul.
kuliahnya
Silakan.
gitu ya, Mas Sandro ya.
Betul, betul.
Ini karena setelah ini ada kuliah lagi ya Pak Sugi ya, gambar teknik.
Betul Bu Anissa.
Oke, mungkin supaya ada waktu untuk pindah ke Zoom lainnya, mungkin kita tutup saja ya, Pak Sandro, Pak Rahman, Pak Isan, Pak Satrio, Pak Ferry, Pak Sugi. Oke, jadi kita sudah sampai di penghujung kuliah perdana kita hari ini, kuliah gabungan semua kelas. Terima kasih atas kehadiran Bapak-Bapak dosen, juga kehadiran semua mahasiswa hari ini. Semoga semester ini bisa berjalan dengan baik, dengan lancar, dan semuanya mendapat nilai yang baik gitu. Oke, sekian mungkin kita tutup saja kuliah perdana hari ini. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Selamat sore.
Waalaikumsalam.
Terima kasih Pak, terima kasih Bu.
Terima kasih Pak, terima kasih.